Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. Another day has gone by, and yet another attack is coming. For those of us who enjoy the Second Amendment, enjoy shooting, hunting, whatever, the attack is on. The onslaught will not stop. And this one was introduced yesterday. This bill doesn't have a number yet, as it was just introduced yesterday by Senator Menendez from New Jersey. And this one is a federal bill that looks to make any magazine that holds more than 10 rounds illegal federally. It does have a grandfather clause, which if you had a standard capacity magazine, which they're calling a large capacity magazine, if you had one of those before this bill, if it were to pass and become law, if you had it before that effective date, then you can still have them. However, this bill will ban the importation, the sale, the transfer, the purchase, the possession of those magazines. So if you have one grandfathered, you can never ever get rid of it. Can't pass it down to your kid when he gets older. Can't let your wife or friend use it at the range. That is a transfer. That is going to be federally prohibited should this pass. Now, this is in the Senate. I don't believe this is going to make it out of the Senate, but if you've been following the channel since January, stranger things have happened. We have had quote-unquote Republicans who have been quote-unquote pro-2A turn against us. We have a president who has stood by while the Second Amendment is under attack. We have the NRA, which has turned its back on us in certain areas. And in fact, the red flag and the bump stock ban proceeded so far because they backed it. When they came out and announced this yesterday, I'll play you a clip in a second here. The big to-do, the big hurrah moment was that it's almost a year from the Parkland shooting, so we have to ban magazines now. Now this act, right now it's an act, it's being called Keep Americans Safe Act, when in fact the wording of this act makes Americans less safe because they only want you to have up to 10 rounds, and God forbid you get attacked by 3 people at the night, in the middle of the night, and this isn't like the movies when you get shot once, unless it's perfectly placed in the running lights, you don't blow up and die. So you need everything available to yourself to defend yourself at all times, and limiting that is not a smart thing. Now this bill also has the typical excused areas like law enforcement, military, etc. However, any magazine more than 10 rounds, if this bill becomes law and passes, but once that date passes, any magazine that's made after that ban day has to have the date of manufacturer either engraved or embossed into it in a conspicuous area, and it has to have a serial number. So this is serializing and registering magazines. What happens after a registration is a confiscation. They will know every magazine, where they are, who has them. Not a good thing. It also has, if you read this, a little clause that says any device that bans those 2 magazines together in any way, whether it's mechanical or just cosmetically. For instance, you have 2 AR magazines and you have like a little mag pull, the little clamp that holds 2 of them together so you can do a quick change. That, even if they're 2 6-round magazines, that now is considered a 12-round magazine. That is illegal. Even though it's 2 individual magazines, because they're held together, it is now an illegal magazine. 6 rounds times 2. It's crazy. It's crazy what they are trying to do. So here is Bobo Menendez in his own words.
Ultimately, the Keep America Safe Act is just one step out of many we must take to fix the nation's broken gun laws. From my view, we must also reinstate the full assault weapons ban. We must require thorough background checks on every gun sale, whether it's at a store or a gun show or online with a click of a button. And we must make sure that we look beyond the reforms that we should have passed yesterday and begin addressing the threats of tomorrow, like the rise of 3D printed firearms. That's why I'm also introducing new legislation to combat the spread of blueprints for ghost guns around the world.
Now this bill is also has a ton of co-sponsors already, to include Pocahontas Warren, Ed Markey, Dianne Feinstein, all the typical libs, right? They're all on there. And this was co-sponsored by Ted Deutsch or Dutch out of Florida. This senator had a little back and forth with Senator Marco Rubio, who I am not standing up for because he introduced one of the 2 federal red flag bills that are in the Senate right now. But he had a little back and forth with little Marco, and listen to what he says.
But my colleagues do not support banning every semi-automatic rifle sold in America.
I believe that the idea that a gunman like this could march down the halls of Stoneman Douglas High School and fire off 150 rounds in 6 or 7 minutes, that gun should be banned. There is no reason anybody should own one of those.
And that is a very valid point. But my point is that under the law that you support, there would still be 2,000 guns that were legal that could do the exact same thing.
Well, then let's sit down and figure out what they are so that we can ensure people...
I know, but look, this is an important discussion because now you're seeing what the debate is about the assault weapons ban. And I just ask, are you in favor of banning any gun that can do what the AR-15 can do? Yes or no?
I am in favor, Senator Rubio, if you have a concern about something, let me just answer this question because it's important.
It is. That's the whole debate.
Yeah, and the answer to the question is, do I support banning weapons that fire off 150 rounds in 7 to 8 minutes, weapons that are weapons of war that serve no purpose other than killing the maximum number of people they can? You bet I am.
Okay. That's important to know.
What is the Keep Americans Safe Act all about? It's about seconds, just seconds. Seconds matter. The few seconds that it takes to reload a weapon matter. Those seconds can make all of the difference. Those seconds can save a life. Seconds matter.
So unless you know somebody in Congress, you work in Congress, or you just have a passion for reading laws and finding out what's going on in the country, this information doesn't get out. But you can get it right here on Guns and Gadgets here on YouTube, as well as all the other platforms I'm on. Links are in the description below. Please subscribe to all of them. Join all of them, because at a moment's notice, one could be gone. This could be gone. There are some gun channels that have disappeared in the last couple days. There are also some gun channels who have been taken off of Facebook, some gun community groups that are gone. So stay in the know, join all of them, and please get your friends to do it as well. And please pass along this information. This stuff needs to get out because this will affect every American, period. And it's totally uncalled for. This does nothing to address criminals. This does nothing to address mentally ill. This has nothing to do with anything other than votes. Please be safe, stay vigilant, subscribe to this channel, and carry your weapon. Take care, everybody.